Welcome to today's explainer, Rise of Intelligence. Look, we all know AI is absolutely everywhere right now, but today we're cutting straight through that relentless hype and all those tired sci-fi tropes. We're going to dive into the real mechanics, the fascinating history, and look at exactly how this technology is literally rewriting human purpose. So, let's just jump right in.
Here's how we're breaking this down today. We've got 5 core chapters. The invisible AI reality, decades of boom and bust, the perfect AI storm, transforming the modern workplace, and finally, the human-AI collaboration.
All right, Section 1, the invisible AI reality. Before we can even begin to look forward, we actually need to redefine what AI is right now today.
So, we have to strip away that whole pop culture image of shiny, human-faced robots. AI isn't really smart in the conscious human sense, right? It doesn't have feelings. The vital distinction is how it actually functions. It's essentially a highly sophisticated system that churns through massive data sets to find statistical patterns. Then, it operationalizes those patterns to emulate reasoning, learning, and acting. It's basically advanced probability, just on a scale that our human brains literally cannot easily fathom.
And honestly, this represents a monumental evolutionary leap for us. Think about it. For all of human history, our tools, the wheel, levers, steam engines, they were built to extend our physical muscle. But AI is humanity's very first true cognitive tool. It enhances and amplifies our capacity to process and analyze information. We are quite literally moving from tools built for the muscle to tools built for the mind. It's a real game changer.
But what's truly amazing is how seamlessly it has already woven itself into our world. Think about your smartphone, unlocking with just a glance using face recognition, or your map app perfectly predicting traffic jams. AI has quietly become this sort of invisible infrastructure. Before long, interacting with AI is going to be as essential and, honestly, as completely unremarkable as flipping on a light switch or turning on the kitchen faucet.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, decades of boom and bust. Because, let's be real, this technology definitely didn't just pop up overnight.
It actually has a dramatic history of incredible highs and devastating lows. Way back in 1950, long before silicon chips or the modern internet were even a thought, British mathematician Alan Turing published a landmark paper asking one simple, profound question: can machines think? It is absolutely wild to realize that the foundational questions of our modern era were being hashed out with just a pen and paper over 70 years ago.
And you can see this wild cycle of massive ambition followed by harsh reality checks. The field officially kicked off in 1956 at the Dartmouth Conference. Those researchers actually thought they'd solve machine intelligence in like a single generation. But instead, a severe lack of compute power triggered these infamous AI winters throughout the 70s and 80s, where funding just completely dried up. Fast forward a bit, and it took until 2012 for deep learning to finally break through in image recognition. That breakthrough set the stage for the explosive generative AI boom that you and I are living through right now in the 2020s.
Which brings us nicely to Section 3, the perfect AI storm. So we gotta ask, if the core theories have been floating around since the 1950s, why is this massive explosion happening right now? Well, it's not just one single magic invention. It's an unprecedented convergence of specific tech and economic trends hitting critical mass all at the exact same time. Think of it like a giant puzzle coming together. We've got Moore's Law compounding our compute power. We've got the internet generating a literal explosion of training data. Plus, cloud computing has democratized access, while open source collaboration means researchers anywhere in the world can instantly build on each other's work.
Now, a huge catalyst for all this was a leap in hardware. And ironically enough, we kind of have video game nerds to thank for this. See, traditional computer CPUs process instructions sequentially, one thing at a time. But GPUs, which were originally built just to render complex video game graphics, can handle thousands of simple operations simultaneously. And since AI is basically just massive amounts of parallel math, switching over to GPUs reduced AI training times from literally months down to mere hours, completely revolutionized the field.
Then came the ultimate eureka moment, the 2017 Transformer architecture, introduced in a famously titled paper, Attention is All You Need. Before this dropped, AI really struggled to remember the context within a long sequence of text, but the Transformer algorithm allowed models to dynamically weigh the importance of different words. Suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, machines could deeply understand language context. That single breakthrough unlocked the large language models, the generative AI that we all rely on today.
All right, let's pivot to Section 4, Transforming the Modern Workplace. Because for so many people, this is the core anxiety, right?
We're all wondering, how is this invisible utility going to change our daily work? Is it going to replace us? Well, looking at the displacement timeline, we can break down the real vulnerabilities. In the short term, say the next 0 to 5 years, the high-risk roles are the ones involving routine cognitive and manual tasks. Think data entry. A little further out, in the 5 to 10-year range, transportation roles start to get heavily impacted. But, and this is key, roles requiring deep empathy or complex interpersonal nuance, like teachers and therapists, those sit squarely in the lower risk category, remaining well insulated for probably 15 years or more.
But hey, we have to keep the economic concept of creative destruction in mind here. Yes, absolutely, there will be job displacement as those routine tasks get automated, but at the exact same time, a massive wave of entirely new, highly paid professions is being born. We are already seeing surging demand for AI ethics officers, data scientists, and hybrid managers. Honestly, the net effect on your own career depends entirely on how fast you choose to adapt and reskill.
And that brings us to our final chapter, Section 5, the Human-AI Collaboration. We really need to shift the narrative away from that dystopian vision of machines stealing all our jobs.
Instead, we need to focus on a much more empowering future. You see, the most successful organizations aren't going to use AI to replace humans, they're going to use it to augment them. Automation is simply about replacing a task, but augmentation, that's about synergy. It's about letting the AI do the heavy analytical lifting and chew through those massive data sets so that we can apply our unique creativity and strategic judgment. It completely frees up our cognitive space.
So, to truly thrive in this new skills economy, you've got to double down on what an algorithm simply cannot replicate. You need to lean hard into complex critical thinking so you can actually interpret what the AI outputs. You need to rely on your emotional intelligence and your empathy to build genuine human relationships. And above all else, you have to maintain adaptability and a fierce commitment to lifelong learning, because let me tell you, these tools are only going to keep evolving, and fast. I'm going to leave you to ponder one final provocative thought. In a world where intelligence is no longer exclusively human, what is our role? As AI confidently takes on routine intelligence and data analysis, how will you choose to redefine your uniquely human purpose? Because the future isn't humans versus machines. No way. It's humans and machines working together. It is entirely up to us to decide what we do with this incredible cognitive tool. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and we will see you next time.